Hi everyone, and as promised, here's our quick tutorial on how to make the most of quizzes through Microsoft Forms. So in our last video, we stopped after we had completed our assignments, but we didn't talk about quizzes. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new quiz, and you'll see that it will take you automatically to your Microsoft Forms and your Glow account. Now, you could be like me and you could have made lots of quizzes before, and what you can do is just repick one you've used before and add this to your team, which again saves you so much time and effort. Or you can click New Form, and that will take you automatically to your Forms page. Also, if you're in any of the 365 apps, such as your OneDrive or your emails, up in the app launcher, which we call the Waffle, if you click on that, that will take you to Microsoft Forms as well, so it doesn't actually have to be opened through Teams. We are going to create a new quiz today. Forms are very similar, but you would use them more for survey purposes, whereas quiz is more so you can set right or wrong answers. So we're just going to go for a quick test today. It's just going to be tutorial. And we're going to think about what we can do to make our form look aesthetically pleasing. We're going to click on Theme, and you just choose one of those, whatever one you like, to make it look a bit nicer. When you click on Responses, this is going to show you, obviously we don't have any responses yet because we've not sent it to anyone yet, but this will show you all of your information once someone has completed that, but we'll come to that later. If you click on the Preview button, at any time you can see how this looks to your pupils. So this is what it looks like on a desktop. You switch over to a mobile, this is what they'll see on their mobile phones, which is a really clever way of understanding what the pupils are seeing from you. So we're going to talk about questions now. If you add new, you're going to see you've got 4 different choices of types of questions here. If you click on this arrow, you're going to see another 4 different types of questions and also a section. Sections are if you want to section your questions off into topics. So let's say term 1, topic 1, and let's make our topic Disney. Okay, let's have a look at the different questions that we can ask in our Disney topic. Add new, and we're going to go for choice. This is just multiple choice. We're going to say, who is the main character in The Lion King? And you could put Simba for option 1, and you could put Buzz Lightyear for option 2. Obviously the correct answer is Simba, but what you can also do is give feedback to your pupils who answer correctly. So we'll say, well done. This isn't the correct answer, but what we want to do is we want to guide them in the right direction. So we want to say, Buzz Lightyear is a character in Toy Story. We want to give them 1 point for each correct answer. This can change, and this will only really become apparent about what this is important for once we have a look at the responses that the pupils have added in. You can make it that there's multiple answers, and you'll notice when I toggle here, it will change from a circle over here to a square over here. So if you want to, they change to check boxes to say which ones are the correct answers. But in this case, we only want there to be 1 correct answer. You can also change the questions to be required. This means that the pupils cannot click send or completed form until if they have answered that question. There are lots of different options that come with this. So you can shuffle the options. If you've got about 6 or 7 different answers, you can actually shuffle these options so the pupils get different ones when they log in. You could change this to be a drop-down menu. You could change there to be questions after an equation. Now, I am not going to pretend that I know things about equations, so I will leave for the mathematically minded amongst you to work that out. But if your question depended on an equation, you can in fact add one in there, which will help your pupils answer that mathematical question. You can also add branching. Now, this is more like a flow chart. So if they got the right answer, Simba, it could be that they go to, and we haven't got a next question yet. If you clicked on go to question 2, that might be another question on The Lion King. If they clicked on Buzz Lightyear, you could go to question 3, and that might be a question on Toy Story. So this is more like a flow chart kind of thing that you would use. But again, this is all about using it for and making the most of what is best for your learning and teaching. So we're going to go back here. We're going to add in a new kind of question now. Our next choice is a text question. So we're going to say, who are Simba's best friends? It doesn't have to be a subtitle, so you can take that off. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add the correct answer. So I'm going to say Timon and Pumbaa. I might also add in a few variations on the spelling so that I'll accept all of these answers. They're all the right answer, but it might be that your pupils are having difficulty spelling this, so you can accept multiple answers. You can also accept a long answer as well. So you don't have to put in a correct answer, you could just get them to type that in. So if we're asking about the main character in Lion King, you can put an image here. So we'll put the Lion King. You can add an image. Or what you could do is it'll give you the option to add a video as well. So it could be a question on a video that you have seen. Who are Simba's best friends? And you could add in a link or a URL to a YouTube video on the Lion King here, and that would add in, and they could watch this YouTube video within this, and that will allow them to see that and then answer the question. So it's actually, you can embed your teaching into this as well. You don't just have to do it as a piece of formative assessment, you could also be using this as teaching as well. So it's a really excellent tool. The only problem with it at the moment is we don't have an option to embed audio on its own into this, but we do have the option to embed YouTube videos or links to videos as well. So we can use that at the moment. And so you could just get them to type that in. If we add new again, here's a rating question, and this is probably more what you would add into a survey. So you can change what it's rated out of. It could be up to 10. The symbol could be a star or a number. And you can also label it. So if you put poor for 1 and 10, excellent, they will know what it is that they're rating it. How would you rate The Little Mermaid? Our next question is going to be a date question. And this really is just what date is today. Not really a right or wrong answer there. Our next question is going to be a ranking question. So it could be, which of these films do you prefer? If you want to add more than 3 options, you just click add option. Toy Story, The Lion King, Up, or Inside Out. And these will, as it says here, you put them in the correct order of what you want them to say. So, and then when you share the quiz, the options will appear in random order. But if this isn't the correct order, you have to make sure that the option are, so that's the order that we want to rate them in at the moment. So for question 6, we're going to try a Likert scale. And as I said, it's used to gauge attitudes and opinions on a topic. So it might be the case, how do you feel about the following films? I'm going to put Toy Story here. Put The Lion King here. Add another one, The Jungle Book. And then we've got various different options along the top. So you could have love it, don't like it. And when you've got very many people answering the same question, when it comes to looking at your responses, it should come up in various different ways depending on your data. So it may be a pie chart, it may be a graph, it depends on the kind of question that you're asking, but the data will all be collated for you so you don't have to, which is the best time saver for marking ever. Okay, question 7, we're going to talk about file upload. I'm not going to click on that just now because it'll take me to my OneDrive, but with the file upload, what that asks you to do is it's asking you to get the pupils to upload a file in response to that question. So it could be, can I see your work from this term, please? And they would be allowed to upload their files, and you can also set which file that you would accept. So if you're only going to accept Word files, you can click that. There's also a Net Promoter Score, and again, this is just to gauge interest in how much someone's maybe liked something. So how likely are you to recommend us to a friend or colleague? Again, you can add a subtitle or branching, and you could change whatever that question is and what that scale is, but we'll just leave that as that just now. So that's most of the different kinds of questions asked, if you have a look at that. What we do once we've finished, this is just section 1, you can add in another section if you wish. You can duplicate a section, which will add all the same questions, and you could just take out some of the answers. Various different things that you could do. But for sharing the quiz once you've finished, you click share here. So anyone with a link can respond means that you're sending it out with. This is like a web page if you want to send that to anyone else. With only people in my organisation can respond, this is only people in Glow. So if you send that to your pupils, this is the safest way to do it. You send them this link, if you just click copy there. And that link is ready for you to paste anywhere. But when you go back to your Teams, which I'll show you in a second, it'll be there waiting for you. You could also share this as a template. If you want this to be a quiz to send to a colleague so they can use it for their classes, you could do that too. And share to collaborate. If you want to share this with a colleague for them to add questions that they would like to add to that as well, you can do it that way too. What we're going to do is we're going to send it to only people in my organisation can respond. You can also create and download a QR code for pupils. You can embed a link into a web page or a sway, or you can send it by email as well. But we can copy the link. What we're going to do is it's automatically saved. We're just going to go back to forms, and there it is in our forms there. So just to go over it again, when you go to create and you click quiz, we want to find our test that we've created and click next. And you'll see this little bar here will show you that it's uploading this test and this form. So we're going to put in all our information just as we have. So we click on the link below. Okay, and we'll click assign. And I'm going to jump over to the pupil view to show you what they'll see. So if I go via the pupil screen, if I go into assignments and I click on the correct class, it'll take me to my assignment, and I'm just going to click straight through there onto the link that's been set through forms. And I'm going to answer the questions. 6, 12, order this, 1, this is right. Just go to and click submit. Okay, I can view my results and I can find out which answers I got correct and which I got incorrect. Got this incorrect, that's the wrong rating. Okay, and it tells me I got 2 out of 7. Didn't do very well, 2 out of 7 points at the top. When I go back to my assignment screen as a teacher, if I click on the actual test, I can see that 1 out of 1 has handed it in. I want to click on handed in. It will come up with with his or her answers. Review next would be the next pupil, so you can go through it like that, and you don't even have to mark anything. It has been auto-graded for them. So again, it tells you the 2 out of 7. You can click on this to give feedback. It tells you how long it took them to complete, so you can really gauge how much effort that they've made here. and you can go through all their answers and you can see instantly which ones they got correct and which ones they got incorrect. So that's a really good way of saving you so much time with your marking. Now, this is only assigned it to individual pupils at the moment. The way to assign it as a group quiz would be to set an assignment for the class, enter your title and everything, and enter your instructions, but here is where you would put the link to the form. Test 2, and we'll assign it. I'll go back to the pupil page, go back to my assignments, go to test 2 again. Just do tomorrow. And I'm going to take the link at this point and I'm going to copy it into my browser. Do these questions again. View my results again, same score again, haven't really learned much since last time. And then when I, as a teacher, go into my forms and refresh, I will have a response here. I can go into responses, and because I've set this as a group assignment instead of to individual pupils, I can now go and take this as graphs. So as I said before, depending on what kind of question you have put in depends on the data. And obviously it'll be much easier to analyse that data when more pupils have answered this. There is also the best part here. When you open this in Excel, it will download into your downloads here. If we open it, it will have every question along the top and all of the pupil responses, which means that all your data is being collated. You can notice patterns with this data, but also you have evidence, and it has saved you all the time that you would have taken to do the same marking. But because you've thought smart and used forms, it has done that very quickly without you having to make any effort whatsoever. So as you can see, there are my answers up here, and this would be much easier if you had a very large class. Okay, so we really hope that this has been a helpful tutorial for you. If you have any questions, again, don't hesitate to get in touch with Dave and I. If you tweet us at DidYouLearnDundee and let us know how you're getting on with forms and tell us any success stories that you have. And if you need any extra help, again, just go to the Dundee Teacher Support digital support team, which you should be on Teams, or tweet us.